Hey, how are you, beautiful? I just wanted to take a quick minute and walk you through the Spark Life Binder a little bit more in depth because I know that there are a number of people who've asked me more about what exactly is in the Spark Life Binder and why in the world do I need it. So, I'm going to go through section by section and tell you even what's in the sections because I know that the amount of time that you save by just ordering the Spark Life Binder versus trying to even recreate this for yourself would be worth way more than the cost of the Spark Life Binder. So here you go. This is a full walkthrough of the Spark Life Binder beginning to end. Now, as you may or may not already know, the Spark Life Binder is a download that then you just hole punch and you put in a binder. I give you all the covers and everything if you want to use those. But that's it. You hole punch them, you put them in a binder, you can add divider tabs if you want and all that stuff and make it your own. I give you the full FAQ when you download it about how you can set it up to be just like mine and function really easily. And it's not a project. So this is not something you need to do when you first get it. You don't need to fill everything in and make a big project of it. This is something when you first get it, I say print it out, hole punch it, throw it in a binder. You don't even need to make it pretty yet. Just hole punch it and put it in a binder so it can start working for you. And then as important papers come in, whenever you think about it, you can enter that in your binder, but you don't need to do some big scavenger hunt of your file cabinet for this. If anything, I say set up excuse me, your emergency binder, which is part of the Spark Life Binder download. Set that up first and then set your binder up afterwards if you did want to go through your file cabinet and actually pull out information and make a project of it. But this is not some project that you need to stress about. So first off, with the Spark Life Binder, when you print it out, everything will be laid out in exactly the order that you need it. And there's an FAQ little tip sheet. There is a step-by-step how to put together your binder and tips to not be overwhelmed by it. Everything is right there for you. And I'm always available for questions if you have any questions at all. This has taken me over a decade to put together, and my binder took me about 2 years before it was completely filled in because I put it together, and then as information came in, I would fill it in. And I filled in the most important information first, but some things that weren't quite so important didn't get done until later, and it was okay. Because if I'd not started that project, then I still would not have a life binder. Even if it takes you 2 years, at least you're starting versus waiting until you have time because that will likely never happen because we all know how it goes. All right, so the first section of your life binder is your emergency binder. This is something that you can use if you have to run out the door in case of an emergency. You can grab it and go to the hospital. You can evacuate for some type of an emergency like a fire or a hurricane, anything like that. You would grab this. Also, this is something that the paramedics can look for if you're not able to communicate or if there's somebody there with you who does not know all the answers to your family history or your medical history and all of that. So this is a perfect grab and go. This is probably one of your more vital ones. Within the emergency binder, I'm not going to go through all the tips about where to keep it and all of the extra tips that I give when you purchase the Life Binder, but I do tell you where to keep it, how to manage it, how to make it super, super easy so you barely have to do anything to update it. All of that I share with you when you actually purchase it, but I want to get through this fast for you. So in your emergency folder, you would include any emergency instructions, including any prescription medicines that you're on, business cards for any of your doctors or specialists, a current photo of yourself, your emergency contacts, and copies of important medical and legal documents such as power of attorney, DNR, instructions, medical directives, living will, all the important stuff. And then what I say is when you get new prescriptions, just grab that pharmacy slip that comes with the information about your prescription and throw it in a little pocket in your binder. So that way you don't have to actually update manually your prescription information. You've got more than the normal information right here. You've got who prescribed it. You have all the drug interactions. You have how much you take, how often you take. Everything about it is right there. And then your emergency instructions would include your name, important identification numbers, letters of instruction, and legal and medical directives. where the original document's located, any notes about it, your emergency contacts, both local and family, if you're an organ donor and if there are any limitations, your blood type. You would write really big on here if you're allergic to anything or if there's anything really important that they need to know about you medically, like if you have a port, a pacemaker, anything like that. Then I usually add a pocket for business cards for my doctors. You can do 1 tab per person. That's me and my hubby, my moose pie. So we each have our own tab in our emergency binder, and then in the back I just throw a pocket in, so that way if you have extra things to add to your binder, then you can just throw them in the pocket. You don't even have to 3-hole punch them right away. So that's the emergency binder section. When you download your life binder, that would be one of the first parts, and you just print up that section, 1 per person in your household. The emergency, or the Spark Life Binder itself. Now this is what holds absolutely all of your important information. You can share this with your relatives and your loved ones. In case something were to happen to you and you're incapacitated or you pass away, then they know exactly what your instructions are and where things are in the house that are important for them to find. Because in a moment of grief, the last thing that we want is for them to be wondering if there's a life insurance policy or trying to find important information. Or even accidentally donating something that's of value or that's family memorabilia and finding out too late that that was in the house and they did not even know what was important. So that's one of the reasons for this. The other reason is this is your one-stop shop for any of your own questions. I've had a client once that set up a life binder and her husband's credit card was stolen when he was unable to take care of himself, so it was not noticed right away, and the lady went on a spending spree. Well, she could not fill out a police report without the number, the credit card number, and the credit card company would not give it to her over the phone. They would only mail it to her, which won't help at 2 a.m. when the police are standing there and they can't fill out their police report. Finally, she remembered it was in her Spark Life binder. She ran and grabbed it. She was able to complete the police report. They caught the woman, and everything turned out great. But that's because she had the record of it at her fingertips. The statements for your credit card don't normally have your full number on it, so there might not be a way to find these things out if you've not recorded them. And this is going to give you that way to remember what to even record. All right, so within the life binder, you will see, I'm going to skip the table of contents real quick. We even have a checklist of all the documents. So as you find things and enter them in your binder, you can check it off. And you can always see kind of where you're at as far as what you're still missing from your life binder. So nice and easy to keep track of. And then we've got our table of contents. This has actually been updated. There's a section 8 is your resources and notes. Section 7 is now actually pets and personal information, but we'll go through section by section. This is being updated as we speak. So this is each of the sections. Section 1, basic information. Information about you. It would have copies of your IDs, like your voter card, veteran documentation, a current photo of yourself, an emergency contact, blood type card, anything like that, where your important letter of instructions, healthcare directives, anything, all of those documents, where they are located so that people will know. All of that same information that's in the emergency folder, that's what starts off in your life binder because it's good to have it in both places. Section 2 is medical. So this would include all of your healthcare providers. It includes things like your copy of your health insurance card, your business cards for your health providers, information about any medical devices or needs, ports, implants, pacemakers, all of that information. Medical directives, any copies of them, where the originals are located, medical history paperwork, including immunization records. And then you see there's a PDF. So you get this as a fillable PDF. And that PDF you can type in and save it. So if you want to type the answers to these things, you can. You can also just handwrite them, or you can do a combination of the two like I do. And I just handwrite my updates, and then when it starts to get messy, I open up the PDF and update it. And I just use a USB drive that I can put right on the ring of the life binder. So this drive has my filled in copy of my life binder, and I can just pop it in my computer, type in my update, reprint it, and I'm good to go. So that way it's nice and it's there, easy for you to update. And you can always reprint any pages that you want anytime because you own it. So this is the medical section. End of life arrangements. So this would include things like funeral arrangements. So prepaid funeral documents, sample obituaries, headstone wishes, funeral specifications. I've worked with people who have the music that they want played at their funeral, the flowers picked out, what they want the obituary to say, what they prefer on their headstone. They have all these preferences. This is a great way to list your preferences, or to list if you don't have any preferences. Because if you don't have preferences but you don't tell anybody that, then they're going to worry that they're making the wrong choices for you. So this is also great to just list, I don't care. Do what you want. It does not bother me. And that's what a lot of my fields are in mine. Like, have a party for me, celebrate the fact that I was here, and other than that, do what you want to do, because I don't have a preference. They also have information for if you have a charity in lieu of flowers. You can enter that. Elder care and hospice information if you ever need that. So all of your preferences, we have notes pages at the back of each section. It's all there, including what to do with your pet when you pass, who's agreed to take it, all of that information. Section 4 is finance and insurance. So this one makes sense. It's, business cards of your service providers for finance and insurances, end of your statements. You can put them right in here. Credit and investment accounts, loan documents, photocopies of any CDs or stock certificates that you have, and you can write down where they're located. I usually do photocopies of all of my credit cards and bank cards, front and back, just for that very reason, like Mary had to deal with when her credit card was stolen. Then she had the full credit card number right there with everything. Insurance policies, you can put the whole policy in here if you want, or just list where the original is. So you would list, what bank you bank at, what accounts you have. So that way, you have the account numbers in case there's an emergency and you need to get your hands on it. Or people know that you have an account in a place and they don't just miss out on that bank account. So if there's any automatic deposits or deductions that happen in that account, credit and charge accounts, I'm not going to go through absolutely everything, but as you can see, it's hard with a Band-Aid on my finger. As you can see, it has, who your financial advisor is, your CPA, if you're a member of any clubs that would either renew or have value still. Insurance policies, your insurance agent, life insurances, disability insurance, all of those things, and then our note page. So it's really in depth, and you do not have to fill this all out at once. Remember, don't start breathing heavy. So this is as they come in. When your insurance policy comes in, just write down the information that it asks you. It gives you all the questions. Just enter that information right then before you file it, and you're good. Legal and official records is section 6. So who your lawyer, your estate lawyer, anything like that is. If you have a trustee or any kind of trust information, where your originals are located, including the original copy of your will, if there are any copies of your will somewhere, and the date of the most recent will so that people know if they're looking at the most recent one. And then the items and location of all of the important documents, birth certificates, military records, marriage certificates, citizenship records, passports. Where are those being stored? So that way, if they're needed, they can be found. Section 7, personal and family. So in this section, we have pet information. You can just reprint the pet page for every single pet that you have and do one page per pet. It also has memorabilia, passwords, and where things are located. So you would also want to put a photo of your pet along in this section. That way, if something were to happen to them and you needed it for social media posts or to make a poster, a lost pet poster, you've got a good photo of your pet. They also have all your pet service provider details. Where are they used to going for boarding or grooming? Who's their vet? That type of thing. Their licenses and vaccinations. Also in this section, if you have a storage unit, what is in the storage unit? What types of things are in the storage unit? Where is it at? Is there a passcode? You can put the keys to the storage unit right in here as well. If you have a safe deposit box, you would list it. You would list if you have any genealogical records in the house, where would those be? Family history documents, photo albums, home movies and videotapes, scrapbooks, military memorabilia, or any type of memorabilia that you want to make sure people know is in the house. You could just list it here, what it is and where it's at. You can add more pages if you need to. Passwords. If you have a password program, something like LastPass, you can just enter the LastPass password information right on the sheet, so that way they can access it if they need to. But also this has the main passwords that you would want to share with people in case something happened, including yourself if you forget. So your computer login, your bank password, insurances, credit cards, your email, those types of passwords, and it's got spaces for you to do more, including common security questions and answers. If you need to reset your passwords, then you remember. They always ask, what was your favorite food when you were in elementary school or something? Like, I have no idea. Like, I probably had 10 favorite foods, so that's so hard. But you can write down what your common answers are right in here in case you end up even tripping yourself up. And then where things are located around your home, where your checkbooks are, computer passwords, if you have a book of computer passwords. Do you have a home safe? And what's the combination, or where are the keys? You can even put the keys right in this book if you'd like. Memberships, do you have season tickets to anything? Secret hiding places, do you have $100 stashed under the mattress? This is a good time to write down that that's there so that people know. I've had clients try to donate books before of somebody who's passed away or incapacitated, and I always shake the books because I found stock certificates. I found $1,000 in cash once in a book from a woman's husband who tucked it away for her in an envelope that even had her name and a little note like, this is for a rainy day or something, but never told her that it was in the book. So when he passed, she was donating all of his books, and I said, let's just shake them and rifle through them real quick and make sure there's nothing in there. There was $1,000 cash inside. So this is a great place to write that. Any notes? Also, I say on your USB drive that you use for your Spark Life Binder that's attached to the ring, I say do a video inventory of your house. So walk around your house with your phone camera or a video camera and videotape what's in your house, including the serial numbers on the back of your TV, your computer, anything like that. Just get it all on video, so that way if there's damage or theft, you have all of that right there on the videotape. You can even tell your family where things are and what's important while walking around the house holding your video camera, and then that video can be stored on the USB drive and updated as needed. And then finally, the last section, section 8, is just resources. So we have how long to keep important documents, comes with the binder, and then I usually share a disaster preparedness checklist, which for all different types of situations, exactly what you would need. If you need to prepare for food and water, clean air, what first aid kit items should you get, supplies that you would need, special needs items, if you have a baby, if you have a disability, if you have a pet, what pet items do you need for disaster? All of that stuff. Shortly after you get your Spark Life Binder, right now I email it out separately because it's currently being added to your Life Binder as part of the download. It's just not part quite yet, but it will be. Then there's business card holders again, so I can just slide business cards in, and then at the back is another pouch. And so I even have a copy of an email that I received. It's okay, her email address is not showing, neither is her name, except for Sharon. But Sharon wrote, "Thanks, Suzanna. The minute I opened the PDF for the Life Binder, I knew I made the right decision. I'm one of those people who says, I'll do that on my own. I know how that is. I've done that. But when I saw how organized and well thought out the information needed is, I gave myself a pat on the back. Thank you, Sharon." So I get so many thank yous and just wonderful feedback about the Spark Life Binder. And I try to keep it inexpensive. That's why right now it's just a download. I'm still trying to find a cost-effective way to be able to sell it as a binder. But so far, it would be way too expensive and make it unattainable for people. So it's currently a download, but I'm working on that. But Spark Life Binder is an amazing investment. I hope that you try it out and get your download now before it goes away, because it will be going away very soon, and then you cannot get it again. So right now it is going away on Sunday, so get it before Sunday, because after that it is gone. I will talk to you soon. I love you so much, and let me know if you have any questions.